Welcome to our deep dive into You2 by Price Pritchett.
Yes.
We're going to be exploring his approach to, achieving breakthrough results,
Yeah.
which he calls making a quantum leap in your effectiveness.
Hmm.
So that means accomplishing more in less time
Right.
with less effort.
And you might be surprised to hear this, but Pritchett says
Okay.
one of the biggest things holding people back is the very idea of trying harder.
Oh, interesting.
He actually tells readers to quit doing that.
That's a pretty counterintuitive idea,
Yeah.
right? I mean, most of us have been told our whole lives that
Right, yeah.
success comes from hard work and perseverance.
Yeah, Pritchett acknowledges that,
Okay.
but he argues that relentless effort can lead to diminishing returns and even burnout. Have you ever
How?
poured all your energy into a task
Uh-huh.
but felt like you were just spinning your wheels?
Oh, I've definitely been. It's
Yeah.
like hitting a wall.
Exactly.
No matter how much effort you put in, you're just not.
Seeing the results you want.
And that's where Pritchett's approach comes in.
Okay.
He uses this analogy of a fly frantically trying to escape through a closed window.
Okay.
It exhausts itself.
Right.
But the solution is simply finding the open door a few steps away.
That's such a vivid image.
Yeah.
And it really gets to the heart of what Pritchett is saying, right?
Right.
We're so focused on the problem
Mm-hmm.
that we don't see the obvious solution
Yeah.
right in front of us.
It's about shifting our perspective. It's about stepping back and looking at the situation from a different angle.
Okay.
And that's where the concept of the quantum leap comes in.
So let's break down this quantum leap idea.
Yeah.
What exactly does Pritchett mean by that?
Well, he borrows the term from quantum physics, where it describes a
Cool.
sudden,
Yeah.
explosive jump in a particle's energy state.
Okay.
It doesn't move gradually, and
Wow.
it leaps to a whole new level.
So applying that to our own lives.
It's about making those massive bounds forward, right? Yes. Skipping several steps in the process rather than inching forward gradually.
Precisely. It's about moving from your current level of effectiveness
Okay.
to one significantly higher.
Right.
Almost like skipping several rungs on the ladder.
Okay.
And it's often unexpected and nonlinear.
Okay.
You might not even see it coming until you're suddenly there.
That's both exciting and a little daunting.
Yeah.
Right? Like, how do we even begin to orchestrate that kind of change?
Well, Pritchett argues that to achieve these quantum leaps, we need to rewrite our traditional rules for success.
Okay.
We need to move beyond linear, step-by-step progress.
Because if we keep doing what we've always done,
Yeah.
we'll just keep getting what we've always gotten. Right.
Absolutely.
That saying definitely rings true here.
It does. And Pritchett challenges us to embrace a different way of thinking, one that's more aligned with the principles of quantum leaps.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are some of these principles?
Well, he lays out several key principles in the book, but one that stands out is the idea of ignoring conventional ways.
Yeah.
Think about a time when you achieved something in a way no one expected, maybe by breaking some unspoken rules or finding a shortcut others missed.
Oh, yeah. I can think of a few times when I had to get creative and go against the grain to get things done.
Right.
Those moments can be pretty exhilarating.
They are. And Pritchett encourages us to cultivate that mindset of challenging the way things have always been done.
Right.
He wants us to actively look for unconventional solutions.
Oh,
to think outside the box and see the possibilities beyond the obvious.
So it's about embracing that spirit of innovation and creativity, right?
Exactly.
We're not being afraid to shake things up and try something new, even if it seems a little unorthodox.
Exactly. And it goes even further than that.
Okay.
He also talks about thinking beyond common sense.
Okay.
He doesn't want us to let our perceived limitations hold us back.
What does he mean by thinking beyond common sense?
Well, he means we should be open to possibilities
Okay.
that might seem outrageous or improbable at first glance.
Okay.
Sometimes the most groundbreaking ideas,
Yeah.
the ones that lead to those quantum leaps,
Right.
are the ones that defy conventional wisdom.
So it's about challenging our assumptions,
Yes.
questioning the status quo, being willing to entertain ideas that might seem a little crazy at first.
Exactly.
I like where this is going.
Right. It's about expanding our vision of what's possible
Okay.
and not letting our self-imposed limitations hold us back.
This is all starting to make sense,
Yeah.
but I have to admit it's a little bit of a mind shift from the way most of us are conditioned to think about success.
It is.
Yeah.
And that's why Pritchett also emphasizes the importance of suspending disbelief
Okay.
and acting as if success is certain,
Right.
even if you're, still wrestling with doubts.
So that sounds like a powerful mental exercise.
Yes.
Is it kind of like faking it till you make it?
It's similar, but it's more about consciously choosing to shift your mindset
Okay.
from one of doubt to one of confidence and expectation.
So instead of focusing on all the reasons why something might not work,
Yeah.
we focus on the reasons why it will work.
Exactly. And this ties into another one of Pritchett's principles,
Okay.
focusing on the ends, not the means.
Okay. What does that mean?
It means having a clear vision of your desired outcome.
Right.
A clear picture of what success looks like for you
Uh-huh.
without getting bogged down in figuring out every single step
Okay.
of the how.
So it's about trusting that the path will reveal itself as you move forward with intention and purpose.
Precisely. It's about having faith in the process and in your own abilities and in the unseen forces that can support you along the way.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. What exactly are we talking about here?
That's where things get even more interesting. And that's what we'll explore in part 2 of this deep dive.
Ooh, a cliffhanger. Can't wait to hear more about those unseen forces and how they play into all of this.
Absolutely.
All right, welcome back.
Yeah.
We left off talking about Pritchett's concept of unseen forces.
Right.
I'm curious to hear more about this and how it ties into making those quantum leaps.
Well, this is where Pritchett's thinking takes a turn that some might find a little, woo-woo.
Okay.
But bear with me because it's fascinating.
Okay.
He suggests there are forces at play we can't fully explain or see that can have a profound impact on our success.
Yeah.
He mentions intuition, inspiration, even what we call luck.
Okay, I'll admit I'm a bit skeptical when people start talking about luck or fate.
Right.
But I'm open to hearing more.
Think about it this way. Have you ever had a sudden flash of inspiration for a project?
Yeah.
Seemingly out of nowhere. Or been in the right place at the right time for an amazing opportunity?
Yeah, I can think of a few times when things just seem to fall into place perfectly.
Right.
Almost like I was being guided by some invisible hand. I always chalked it up to coincidence.
Right.
But maybe there's more to it.
That's what Pritchett's getting at.
Okay.
He argues these unseen forces are more likely to come into play when you have a clear vision and are actively pursuing your goals with passion and determination.
So it's not about sitting back and waiting for the universe to deliver. It's about setting your sights high.
Taking action and trusting that the universe will meet you halfway.
Exactly. And remember Pritchett's principle of suspending disbelief.
Yeah.
Acting as if success is a given.
Right.
That plays a role here too. It's about creating an energetic alignment with your goals.
Yeah.
Almost like you're sending out a signal to the universe that you're ready to receive those opportunities and insights.
This is really making me rethink my whole approach to achieving goals. It's not just about willpower and strategy.
Right.
It's about tapping into something bigger than ourselves.
It is a shift in perspective for sure. But even with this shift, let's be realistic. Making quantum leaps isn't always going to be easy.
Yeah.
There will be challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt.
Oh, absolutely. I think anyone who's tried to achieve anything significant
knows that it's rarely a smooth ride.
And that brings us to another crucial element of Pritchett's approach.
Okay.
Embracing risk and failure.
Okay.
He encourages us to reframe our perspective on both.
Okay, everyone loves to talk about embracing failure, but it's a lot harder to actually do, right?
It is.
I mean, it's natural to want to avoid it.
It is.
Yeah.
But what if we thought about it less like failure and more like feedback?
Okay.
Every time things don't go as planned.
Right.
It's an opportunity to learn,
Yeah.
to adjust course, to get closer to what works.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Instead of seeing setbacks as a sign that we're not good enough or
Right.
that our goals are impossible, we see them as valuable information.
Exactly. And Pritchett actually goes a step further.
Okay.
He suggests that a little bit of discomfort
Okay.
is a good sign.
Yeah.
That we're on the right track.
Okay.
He even suggests seeking out failure
Wow.
to discover the edges of our capabilities.
So he's saying that that feeling of unease,
Yeah.
of being a little out of our depth,
Right.
is actually a signal that we're growing and expanding.
That's right. If we're feeling completely comfortable,
Yeah.
we're probably not pushing ourselves hard enough.
Okay.
Not stretching our limits.
Right. Yeah.
Think about learning any new skill, whether it's a sport, a musical instrument,
Yeah.
or a new language.
Yeah.
It's always awkward,
Right.
and uncomfortable at first.
That's so true. I remember when I first started learning to play the guitar.
Yeah.
My fingers were so sore, and the sounds I was making were far from music.
Right.
But if I had given up at the first sign of discomfort,
Yeah.
I never would have experienced the joy of playing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the same with pursuing those quantum leaps
Right.
in our lives. We need to be willing to embrace the discomfort,
Yeah.
to push past those initial feelings of inadequacy,
Right.
and trust that we have the capacity to learn and grow.
It makes sense. I mean, if we're not challenging ourselves,
Yeah.
how can we expect to achieve those extraordinary breakthroughs?
Right.
It's like staying in a cozy cocoon.
Right.
You'll never learn to fly unless you're willing to spread your wings and take a leap.
Beautifully said. And that leads us to another key principle
Okay.
that Pritchett highlights.
Yeah.
The importance of falling in love with our dreams.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is about more than just setting goals.
Yes.
It's about having that deep passion,
Right.
that fire in your belly
Yeah.
that keeps you going, even when things get tough.
That's exactly it.
Oh, he believes that passion is an essential ingredient
Okay.
for achieving quantum leaps.
Right.
Without that fire,
Yeah.
that deep desire to achieve something truly meaningful,
Right.
we're likely to fizzle out
Yeah.
when faced with obstacles and setbacks.
It's like that saying, find something you love to do and you'll never work a day in your life.
Well, achieving those big dreams
Right.
will definitely involve work,
Right.
but it won't feel like drudgery
Yes.
if you're deeply passionate about the outcome.
Yeah.
That passion fuels our perseverance, our resilience,
Right.
our willingness to keep going even when things get tough.
So it's not just about setting goals.
Right.
It's about finding those goals
Yeah.
that truly ignite our passion,
Yeah.
that make our hearts sing.
You got it. It's about aligning our actions.
Right. With our deepest desires, with our soul's purpose.
Right.
And when we do that,
Yeah.
we tap into a source of
Right.
energy and inspiration
Okay.
that can propel us towards those quantum leaps.
I love this idea.
Oh.
It's so much more empowering than simply gritting our teeth and pushing through.
Right.
It's about finding that sweet spot where our passion intersects with our purpose.
Yes.
And letting that energy guide our actions.
That's the essence of it. And Pritchett has one more seemingly contradictory principle that he says is crucial.
Okay.
Making your move
Okay.
before you're ready.
Wait, hold on. I thought we were supposed to have a clear vision, a plan,
Right.
to be prepared. Now you're telling me to jump in before I'm ready.
It might seem counterintuitive.
Right.
But Pritchett argues that over preparing
Okay.
can become a roadblock
Okay.
to achieving a quantum leap.
Okay.
Think about it. Have you ever waited for the perfect moment
Oh, yeah.
to start something new,
Yeah.
only to find that moment never arrived?
Oh, for sure. I've definitely been guilty of that.
Right.
I get stuck in the planning phase,
Yeah.
wanting to make sure everything is just right before I take that first step.
Pritchett's point is that action
Okay.
often precedes clarity.
Okay.
By taking that leap,
Yeah.
by putting ourselves in motion, we create the conditions for the path to reveal itself.
So instead of trying to map out every single detail beforehand,
Yes.
we trust that we'll figure things out as we go along.
Exactly. He encourages us to trust our instincts, our inner knowing, to guide us through the process. It's about embracing a certain level of uncertainty. Right. And trusting that we have the resources and resilience to adapt and learn as we go.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground in this part of the deep dive.
We have.
From the power of unseen forces to the importance of embracing risk and discomfort to making that leap of faith even when we don't feel fully ready.
And it all comes down to recognizing the extraordinary potential that already resides within you.
Okay.
And that's what we'll explore in the final part of our deep dive.
Okay, I'm excited to hear more about that. So we've been talking about making quantum leaps and Pritchett's principles for achieving them. Now let's talk about what that looks like in practice. Where do we go from here?
Well, Pritchett talks about this idea of opening your gifts as being crucial to this whole process.
Yeah, we touched on this earlier. It's about identifying those unique talents and abilities that might be lying dormant within us.
Exactly. Yeah. We all have these incredible gifts, but sometimes they get buried under self-doubt, you know, societal expectations, or simply the busyness of everyday life.
It's like we have these treasure chests filled with amazing tools and resources, but we haven't even bothered to open them up and see what's inside.
That's a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
Think about what you naturally gravitate towards, even in your leisure time.
Okay.
You know, those activities often hold clues to your untapped potential. What comes easily to you, even if others struggle with it. What do people always compliment you on?
That's a great point. Yeah. I've always loved to write ever since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I used to spend hours crafting stories and poems, but I never really thought of it as a gift, or something I could build a career on.
And that's what Pritchett wants us to challenge. Those limiting beliefs we often hold about ourselves.
Okay.
He encourages us to take inventory of our strength, our passions, our unique qualities, and to start using them to our full advantage.
So how do we go about doing that? How do we really tap into those gifts and start using them to create those quantum leaps?
Well, it starts with paying attention.
Okay.
Notice what energizes you, what makes you feel truly alive.
Yeah.
What activities make time fly by.
Right.
What do you find yourself doing even when you're tired or stressed?
That reminds me of the concept of flow state that's often talked about in creativity and productivity circles. It's that feeling of being completely absorbed in an activity where time seems to disappear and you're fully immersed in the moment.
Exactly. And Pritchett would say those flow states are powerful indicators of where your gifts lie.
Okay.
He also encourages us to step outside of our comfort zones and experiment. Try new things. Take a class. Join a group. Volunteer for a project that interests you.
It's about approaching life with a sense of curiosity and openness, right?
Yes.
Being willing to explore different paths and see where they lead us.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to shake things up a bit, to break free from the routines and expectations that might be holding you back. Remember Pritchett's principle of ignoring conventional ways.
This is all starting to click. It's about recognizing those sparks of interest, you know, those things that light us up, and then having the courage to pursue them, even if it means stepping outside of our comfort zones.
And don't worry about having it all figured out beforehand. Remember Pritchett's emphasis on making your move before you're ready.
Right.
Sometimes the best way to discover your gifts is to simply start moving in a direction that feels aligned with your with your passions and interests.
It's about trusting that the path will reveal itself as we go along.
Right.
That we'll learn and grow along the way, and those experiences will help us refine our understanding of our gifts and how we want to use them.
That's the beauty of this approach.
Yeah.
It's not about having a rigid plan,
Right.
but about embracing the journey.
Yeah.
And allowing ourselves to evolve as we go.
This has been such an eye-opening deep dive. We've covered so much ground, from the concept of the quantum leap to the principles for achieving it. We've talked about harnessing unseen forces, embracing risk and failure, and even making a move before we're ready.
And through it all, the key takeaway is recognizing that you already have everything you need to achieve those quantum leaps in your life.
Okay.
The power, the resources,
right,
the brilliance, it all resides within you.
It's such an empowering message. It reminds me of that quote from Marianne Williamson. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure.
I love that quote.
Yeah.
And it ties in perfectly with Pritchett's final message.
Yeah.
Make the leap.
Right.
Take action on those dreams and desires that have been stirring within you.
Okay.
Trust in your own abilities and in the unseen forces that are always there to support you.
So for a listener, what's the one thing we want them to take away from this deep dive?
I think the most important thing is to remember that you're capable of far more than you realize.
Okay. Believe
in yourself, embrace your unique gifts, and don't be afraid to make that leap.
Beautifully said. And as Pritchett asks, what one seemingly impossible dream could you start pursuing today?
Yeah.
If you fully embraced the U2 approach.
Think about that.
Yeah.
What is one thing you've always wanted to do, but have been putting off because it seemed too difficult, too risky, or just plain impossible?
That's your challenge for today.
Yeah.
Take one small step, no matter how tiny, towards making that dream a reality.
And remember, you don't have to have all the answers.
Right.
Just take that first step and trust that the path will unfold before you.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into U2.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you've found it insightful and inspiring.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep learning.
Yeah.
Keep growing and keep leaping forward.